Welcome to the NBA. I'm assuming this is about the 2025 or going into this season. We just talked about it. The Lakers have no Bron for I think another 2 weeks. We got them looking for another week. So it's just AR-15 right now. It's just Austin Reeves show. That's it. So. Hey, this Suns roster couldn't be any worse. Could it? Okay, maybe not worse, but they have like two super ball dominant guards. How do they ever think this is gonna work? Players should be allowed to flop, but if they do, the other team gets to send in a goon to commit the hardest foul on the flopping player for no additional free throws. The flopper can decline the hard foul, but also declines the free throw attempts. What the fuck kind of barbaric ass rule is that? You gotta fight one player in the NBA. You win, you take the contract. Who you fighting? Yusuf Nurkic. They can keep them. Look how they looking at his ring. The NBA is fucked up for this. Having 3 niggas commentate or do a post-game interview that didn't win a ring is pretty nasty. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is pretty nasty. This is pretty nasty. Can't wait to watch you play tomorrow, GOAT. Why do you have a sock that stands up, Crown Royal, lotion and tissues? Guard. What?
He looks like
me at school telling bro how Wemby was playing because he don't got NBA league.
Katie and Shaq mixed together, my dog.
What?
That's how I know you ain't watching the game. You're not watching the games, Pete. That's how I know you ain't watching the game.
I've never watched a Wemby game and said he reminds me of Shaq at all, ever. I've never thought once in my entire life he reminds me of Shaq. Ever.
My brothers, it's a new NBA season, and you know what that means. New faces, new contenders, and a new batch of some of the most appalling takes you've ever seen in your life. And today, we're going to take a look at some of these takes. The good, the bad, and the downright atrocious. Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. With the
use code Victionary, I think you'll get 10% off too. Or Victionary HD or Vic. It's one of those 3.
With the new NBA season starting off this week, I took it upon myself to ruin a good NBA tip-off by rummaging through NBA social media for the hottest takes I could find. An endeavor that took me to some dark places, but a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I found some good ones, and I found some other ones.
Referees should get ratings on how they officiated, for sure. Hottest hot take is just being people straight up stupid and wrong. Here's a hot take.
And among these hot takes, here are some of the more interesting ones I came across. Starting with this fan who says Victor Wembanyama will not only win Defensive Player of the Year this season, he will win it for the next 7 seasons in a row. And as crazy as this sounds,
it's not that crazy. It's actually not that crazy. This is actually not crazy. This is not a hot take at all.
I feel like it's not even out of the realm of possibility. At the moment, Victor's preseason odds for Defensive Player of the Year are minus 175.
Yeah.
The kid is favored over the rest of the NBA. And looking at his progression and his numbers from last season, it's clear why he's the heavy favorite. Here are the players.
Damn, dude.
With the highest stocks per game over the last decade. That's of course steals and blocks combined. And for even the biggest stat stuffers, averaging 3 stocks a game is a number that will earn you a DPOY, if not at the least, get you in contention. The players who achieve this mark are usually defensively versatile big men, and the largest total over the last decade belonging to Hassan Whiteside in 2016, with 4.2 stocks per game. Until Wemby blew that and every other total out of the water with 4.8.
It's fucking crazy.
Stocks
fucking crazy
per game. Oh wait, those were his stocks as a rookie. Here's his number from last season. But stocks, although enough to persuade some voters, aren't necessarily a great measure of a player's defensive impact. What are good measures, however, are metrics like crafted defensive plus-minus and on-off splits. How big of an impact are you making on defense, and how does your team perform when you're on the court versus off the court? And here is every player in the league last season who logged at least 1,000 minutes charted according to those two metrics. This group here in the top right corner are the players that thrived in both of those defensive metrics. Draymond Green, Rudy Gobert, Alex Caruso, and of course, Victor Wembanyama, the best defensive player in the league in just his second season. But in the future, Wemby will be competing against his peers, the players
He says, shoot this nigga.
his age. After all, the kid is only 21 years old. So if we limit this chart to players no older than 25, well, yeah. Of course, winning the award once and winning it 7 times in a row are two completely different things. Even if a player deserves an award, voters' fatigue may end up being his biggest obstacle. However, Wemby's gap on the field may just be big enough to overcome this. In a recent survey, GMs across the NBA were asked who they felt was the best defensive player in the league, and to no one's surprise, it was Victor Wembanyama, winning 80% of the votes. Now, what is surprising is that in the 23 years that this survey has been conducted, no player before Wemby has ever been regarded as the best defender in the league with such an overwhelming majority. The highest Giannis ever got was 48% of the votes. The highest Ben Wallace ever got was 38%. KG, 44%. Kawhi, 67%. Dwight Howard, arguably the greatest defender of the 21st century, managed to get 78% of the votes after winning his 3rd straight DPOY. And then there's Victor, entering just his 3rd season.
Come on, man, y'all. I'm telling y'all, nigga, them niggas named Victor be them. Every nigga named Victor is great. Every nigga named Victor is great. Victor Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Victor Wembanyama. Victor Oladipo. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, the niggas named Victor. You gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Be on the lookout.
In the league. So if winning the award is just as much about convincing fans and voters of your merit,
So you a FOF. What is a FOF?
as it is about the actual impact
What is a FOF?
you have on the game, then you might as well ship the award to Wemby's house right now. But the one
Friend of freak. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, they play good defense on the hose like you. Ball-hogging bastard.
One thing that could prevent him from sweeping this award for the foreseeable future is the very reason why he didn't win it last season. The kid was dealing with an injury, he missed too many games, and he was ineligible for the award, which is a very real possibility as to why he may not end up winning it in future seasons. But as long as he's got 2 good knees and an 8-foot wingspan,
This don't even look real. Like, this nigga don't even look real. This looks edited. AI is a motherfucker. This looks like... Yeah, this looks crazy.
it's hard to imagine anyone else earning the award over him for quite a while. So as crazy as this claim looks, this is a good take. Now this next take comes from Bill Simmons in a recent podcast he did with Zach Lowe discussing the future of Nikola Jokic's legacy if things fall in his favor this season.
Is there a star player with a bigger legacy shift brewing on a pot on the stove than Jokic this year? Because if they win the title and he wins MVP again, I think he's indisputably one of the best 10 players ever. I think that has to be the...
I could see it. I could see it. I could see it. The nigga averages triple doubles. Unfucking real. Shoots like it's just nothing. I could see it. I could see it. No, Todd, the nigga, I think his averages are fucking crazy, bro. Excuse me. And obviously he's in a more foul-y kind of era. But overall, 21, 10, and 7. That's crazy. Year 11. That is, well, he didn't play this year, so it's, yeah, year 10. Fucking crazy. Played pretty much every game. Ain't really been hurt like that. And yeah, this as a center averaging 22, 11, and 7 on 56%, good free throw shooter, and a good three-point shooter. Yeah.
Outcome. I just don't see how he's not on a top 10 list after that. He has to be.
But if
Every
he
year.
gets the second one, the names he's next to immediately, not next to like, oh, 3 more years, it's next to immediately are like the holy pantheon of NBA players.
He has to be with Bird and Magic at that point.
Yeah.
He's next to them.
Yeah.
Now, there's a really big if going on here.
This might ruffle a few feathers just because of the legacy that he had on us. Who y'all taking, Dirk or Jokic? Who y'all taking, Dirk or Jokic? Give me Jokic, bro. I'm sorry. Give me Jokic every day of the week. Like, I'm sorry, but give me Jokic every day of the week. That's what I'm saying. Like, my next question is Jokic the best foreign player? No. Who is? Who is? I might be missing a name or two. But who? Because you got like Jokic not beating the niggas Dirk did. Court. Giannis, Hakeem, okay. No, but I'm genuinely asking, just because I be forgetting some names sometimes. I might take Jokic over Giannis, dude. I'm sorry. Tony Parker, stop. Stop. Like, if Jokic gets another, like, if we're being real, Jokic should have at least 2 more MVPs, probably. Yao Ming.
If Jokic can win another title
Yao Ming is getting cooked against Jokic if they ever play. Fuck out of here.
this season, which in that case would undoubtedly be paired with a finals MVP.
But the teams that Dirk beat that year, they were great teams. Don't get me wrong, they were great teams. I think it was they beat the contending champion Lakers, obviously, but they demolished us. I believe they beat the Thunder, and then they beat obviously they beat the Heat. Who all? Lakers, Blazers, Thunder, Heat. Whereas the Nuggets beat I wouldn't say Jokic not beating them teams that Dirk beat, because on those teams, who on those teams is guarding this nigga? Who? Andrew Bynum or Pau Gasol? Cooked, nigga. Flambéed. On the Blazers, you got LaMarcus Aldridge. Cooked. I think Jokic and them are beating these Thunder teams. I think they could. I think they would. The thing that the Thunder had was they just had pace. MVP, DPOY, a chip, and a Finals MVP in one season. He's never winning a DPOY ever. He's never winning that. No.
MVP and another regular season MVP to go along with it, would that make him not just top 10 all time, but even creeping near top 5 territory, right up there with Bird and Magic? And to me, this is a no-brainer. But to my surprise, this was a scorching take.
But also, the top 10 is so just what you make it. There's no solidified top 10. There really is no solidified top 10. It's just what you make it and what you've seen.
For some,
is Jokic beating that Heat team? It'd be interesting to see. It'd be very interesting to see. Because remember, Bron was really just a downhill fucking demon in Miami. Granted, he can still shoot. I think he shoots a lot better now.
Random, but
not.
I just asked Siri who played with Yao Ming at point guard was Jackie Chan. Siri might be racist.
It wasn't Jackie Chan. It wasn't Jackie Chan. It was fucking I think it was Ray for Austin. I remember Ray for Austin played for him too.
fans. Many fans.
Chris Bosh wouldn't be able to keep up with Jokic though. Offense. Chris Bosh should be in a blender. I can say that. Chris Bosh should be in a blender. That wouldn't even be no. Chris Bosh would be in hell. Respectfully, he'd be in hell. Because Jokic makes a lot of bullshit. Now I would say I would love to see because they would probably put prime Braun on Jokic. So Bosh probably wouldn't even be guarding. They probably put prime Braun on. They probably put prime Braun on him because I remember that back then Braun damn near guarded all 5 positions. The only one he didn't guard really was like it was a big center, but he used to guard all fucking 5 positions. I mean they put that nigga on Derrick Rose one time. I was like, man, go guard your position. I was like, nigga, this is Derrick Rose. He's 6'3". Go guard your position. He's bullying this nigga Derrick Rose, bro. Shit was pissing me off.
would still.
So I think prime Braun, but I can't even say prime Braun, but like 2012 young Braun, yeah, he probably would put. He probably hold his own against him too. Yeah,
Have him outside of the top 10. So
but I mean. You also got to remember Tim Duncan. Yeah, I don't think he'll be in that 10. I don't think it's just that 10 is too rock solid. That 10 is you got to have a dynasty for you to get into that 10. And I don't think the Nuggets have ever had a dynasty. Because in my opinion, my 5 is Kobe, Bron, Curry, Jordan, Shaq, Duncan. Who am I missing? That's like my 6. Kobe, Shaq, Bron, Duncan, Curry, Jordan, probably Magic, Hakeem somewhere in there. You also got Kareem somewhere in there. Never seen those 2 play, but you gotta respect the games. Obviously I'm missing people. You know, I didn't see Larry Bird play like that, so I'm not going. You know, maybe Larry Bird's a 10. You know, so. What's good, Alex? Dirk is not in my 10. No. KD not over Bron. KD's. I wouldn't mind saying KD is my 10th best player though, because that nigga's fucking unguardable. But I could put KD in my 10. I could, even though he went the little bitch way out. But I could respectfully say KD was gonna do like he's gonna be the walking bucket that he is. But Jokic is definitely in that like. Where's there? I'm not putting Wilt in there. I'm not putting Wilt nowhere near my top 10, bro. I'm sorry. That nigga, he did not. The moment we see some footage at 100-point games, then I'll put him in there. I'm not putting him in my top 10 until I see that footage.
somewhere between 12 and 18.
Hey, yo, you know what's going to be crazy, fellas? In about 20 years, on whatever app we on, the Wilt footage is going to drop. And it's going to be fucking AI. It's going to be AI. And we're going to believe it because we're going to be old as shit. We're going to be like, oh, they dropped the Wilt footage. They finally dropped the Wilt footage. And we're going to fall for this shit too. And the little young niggas going to be like, look at these old ass niggas. Bro.
Which is
And it's crazy to think niggas are being born in the 2020s, bro. That's fucking crazy.
absolutely absurd. It's tough to make a top 10 list
I
that's
see
agreed
no
upon,
100
but
piece from him, but I see Willie Mays basket catch at Polo Grounds.
I'm telling you. He didn't drop that 100. And nothing could convince me. No. It's AI.
there is a consensus top 12 that pretty much every fan agrees on. And it's these 12 players in no particular order. And when you
Rest in peace to Bill Russell, but I do not have him in my top 10.
compare Jokic's numbers and accomplishments with these guys, assuming he pulls off the season Simmons described, Jokic clearly belongs in this group and even ahead of a handful of them. There's only 3
He just ain't got no defensives. He has no DPOIs, bro. 0. I mean, granted, neither does Shaq or Kobe or Bron. Even though Bron could have won DPOI like once or twice. What is that, Gandhi? What is Outer Worlds 2? Bron could have won DPOI like once or twice for sure. I don't know when, but he could have won that shit once or twice for sure. I don't remember the year, but it was one where I was like, this nigga really didn't win it. And Bron could have one more MVP. Listen, shout out Derrick Rose. Shout out Derrick Rose. But he definitely should have won it that same year Derrick Rose won it too. Just saying. Giannis
Players-
top 20? Maybe.
in NBA history who have more than 4 MVPs. Only 5 players in NBA history who have more than 2 Finals MVPs. And in terms of statistical impact, Jokic's numbers are just flat out better than anyone's. He's now the all-time leader in virtually every advanced metric and increasing his lead on the field with each season. The only thing holding him back from crashing the party at this point is championships. But that is a huge if. Winning a title is the toughest thing to do in the sport. Winning an MVP in the same season, even rarer. But a historic season like this may be in the cards for Jokic in 2026. After a busy offseason, the Nuggets have now surrounded Jokic with arguably the best roster he's had in his career. They've added depth at the center spot with Valanciunas, they've bolstered their shooting with Tim Hardaway Jr., and they've upgraded their starting lineup with the addition of Cam Johnson. Moves that have made them one of the favorites to win the title this season, with better odds than they've had in any season since their title run in 2023. And in terms of an MVP, there is no player more perpetual and inevitable.
You know what's crazy, Court? I feel like Wemby ain't getting no ring no time soon. And when I mean no time soon, I mean within like the next 3 to 5 years. I think he'll get it by like year 6 or 7. I could be completely wrong. But until I see Wemby finish the season with like 70 plus games played, including a solid playoff run, then that'll change my mind. But until then, I don't think Wemby's gonna do anything crazy as far as like rings and shit. But he has to shut up, nigga. 6, 7. He has to show me he can play somewhat of a full season and playoff games before I, believe that he can do it.
Then Jokic.
You know what I'm saying? And that too. When is De'Aaron Fox coming back?
The guy always plays, his numbers are insane, and they haven't budged in a half a decade. His team looks to be better, so they're set up nicely to grab a top seed. And after averaging a 30-point triple-double last season and still coming up short in the MVP race,
It's fucking crazy, by the way.
Wouldn't
Nigga, imagine being responsible for 50 points at least every night. On average, obviously. But imagine being responsible for 50 fucking points a night and you still don't get MVP and 10 rebounds. Fuck out of here, dude.
Be surprised if the MVP narrative is in his favor this season. Similar to what happened in
Sound like me at the voice again.
2024 after losing to Embiid in the previous season. In pretty much any other scenario, it would be comical to hint at a player having a historic season like this. But this is prime Nikola Jokic we're talking about, coming off the best individual season of his career with possibly the best roster of his career. And if he could pull it off, I agree with Bill. He would undeniably be a top 10 player of all time with the likes of Bird and Magic. This is a great take. Now, this next take comes from a fan who says Joel Embiid.
Boy, I've been saying this. I've been said this. And the shit is like, when is the process gonna start processing? This shit been processing dial-up style for 5 years. Fuck.
Will go down as the biggest what if in NBA history. And although I don't agree with this take, it is nice to see some Embiid appreciation every once in a while. Joel Embiid has been dragged down by injuries about as much as any superstar of the 21st century.
Who's worse, him or Anthony Davis? Because both of them are the biggest what ifs. Them niggas get some of the craziest, most weirdest, wackest injuries I've ever seen. Niggas will walk upstairs and tear their fucking Achilles. It's weird as hell.
To the extent where the word retirement was being thrown around 18 months after he won an MVP. And after recent physical evaluations, it appears that we will unfortunately never see MVP caliber Embiid again. Now, I understand why a lot of people couldn't care less about the man's game. His headache-inducing play style, the annual playoff regression, the fact that he's intentionally ducked Jokic on numerous occasions. There's always something going on with Embiid. But I could recognize these faults and still see that the guy is one of the most dominant forces of his generation. This is a player who averaged 32 and 11 a night for a 4-season stretch, averaged more points than minutes for an entire season. The only player to do this since Wilt Chamberlain. Less than 2 years ago, Embiid had a 23-game stretch where he averaged 40 points a game on 69% true shooting. 40 a game.
He meant to say 30, not 40.
A stretch that included a 40-piece on Jokic, a 50-piece on Gobert, and a 70-point, 18-rebound bomb on Wemby. When the man is healthy, he is legitimately unguardable. He's also one of the few offensive juggernauts that not only has the capacity to anchor a defense, but is willing to do it. Two-way impact, statistically on par with Jokic for consecutive seasons. Somewhere buried under all that foul baiting, showboating, and grifting is a player who could dominate the game without doing any of that. But with that being said, I don't think Embiid can be the biggest what-if of all time for all of those
that
reasons.
That nigga Embiid knees being held together by some rubber bands, shoestrings and a paper clip. Oh well. Fuck Embiid. Fuck Simmons. Fuck Maxey. Fuck VJ. Fuck the 06ers.
That nigga said it's being held together by rubber bands, shoestrings, and a paper clip. Wow.
We have already seen him at the peak of his powers for multiple seasons.
Damn,
insane individual numbers that never culminated into any tangible success in the postseason. Whereas other big what-ifs like Derrick Rose and Bill Walton were league MVPs with playoff success, but sustained career-altering injuries before they even hit their peak. They were proven formulas who got hurt the moment they were impacting the league. There's also the what-ifs in the form of players who had all the potential in the world, but got hurt before they could even tap into it. Greg Oden, Penny Hardaway, Brandon Roy, Grant Hill, reduced to a
Brandon Roy
fraction of their abilities so early in their careers, all we were left wondering is what if they hadn't gotten hurt? Having a near career-ending injury just 33 games after hoisting an MVP trophy will certainly get your name thrown into some what-if conversations. But sustaining that injury at 30 is a lot different than sustaining it at 23. For the better part of a decade, we saw the extent to which Embiid could dominate games, so there really isn't much what-if left in the tank. If anything, I would put him in the "it's a shame this guy couldn't stay healthy" category, with players like Tracy McGrady, Kawhi Leonard, Yao Ming, Amari Stoudemire, all-time talents who met their potential but couldn't put it together for more than a season or two at a time without their bodies failing them. Joel Embiid is prolifically underappreciated as a player, but I don't think he's nearly the biggest what-if in NBA history. Now, our last take comes from a fan who says the NBA is too talented, stating that the globalization of the game, the increased talent pool, and the new second apron have made teams impatient and left a lot of NBA caliber players out of a job. And although I understand the sentiment,
I don't mind this. No, Ty, it's because I get what he's saying. Because I get what he's saying. Now, does that mean there's going to be a better product? To be determined. Well, good, Tenzo. A ban for a brake job is insane. I will change that bitch and see if my car don't work. But I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. But I do want to experience an expansion team in one of the major sports that I watch in football and basketball. I do want to experience and see what it's like. But I mean, it'll go from what, 450 to what, 472? So 22 more spots if it's 2 teams. If it's 4 teams, obviously it'd be like close to 500. But I mean, you know, I want. Okay,
and the NBA is certainly the most talented it's ever been. I don't think the NBA is too talented. The reason why we're now seeing so many talented, capable players miss out on roster spots is because not only has the floor for NBA talent increased drastically over the last decade, but because teams have also gotten drastically smarter over the last decade. Talent alone, for the most part, is no longer enough to keep a spot in the league. Organizations are now prioritizing things like fit and a player's role and how they can contribute and blend into a system over sheer talent and skill set. And regardless of how talented you are, unless you're a superstar.
Don't put no team in no goddamn Idaho. Hell no. Ain't nobody going there. Niggas only want to play for the Jazz now.
If you aren't a good fit, you won't have a place in the league. This has led to a lot of ultra-talented players completely sitting out of lineups or getting relegated to the G League or overseas, and fans asking, how is that guy not in the league? And the answer usually isn't that they weren't good enough, it's that they weren't a good fit. The inverse of this is also true.
It's not even that it's not even that they're on a good fit. It's also they don't want to go into their role. For example, Patrick Beverley made one of the most meaningful quotes, not even a quote, just like a statement. I think Pat Bev in high school averaged like 20, 30, 40, whatever it was, some crazy shit. He got to the league and just became defense, all defense, because that's what the team needed. So if the player isn't, you know what I'm saying, ready to conform to what the team needs, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for letting him go.
Players of lesser talent can end up getting roster spots these days because they may have a specific skill set that fits what a team needs, and they're willing to play into that role. There used to be a time where
PJ Tucker, the nigga was terrible. All he did was play good defense. Michael Beasley is another one that was always wanted to shoot the ball. Sometimes you just goddamn play some good defense and get some spot ups threes.
you could say with confidence that the most talented basketball players in the world were all in the NBA. In fact, before the boom of foreign talent in an expansion league, you could argue that there was a time where the NBA had more roster spots than there were NBA caliber players. But this is no longer the case. Today, there are more players with NBA talent than there are NBA jobs.
Bray, that's the thing, is you need to get through an NFL season, you just need every player to play their role. If you're a good team, if you're a contending team, not saying cruise through the season, but if you're a contending team, you should be able to make the playoffs or make like the top 4 seeds if everybody plays their role and stays healthy. Now, when you get to the playoffs, that's when you got a game plan, and some players might have to switch it up or do this and do that, and you know you might need somebody to handle the ball a little more. Like that's when it switches up. But in the regular season, you shouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying?
And more NBA level players
that's what I'm
not
saying.
in the NBA than ever before. And while the talent pool continues,
For example, that's like if Dyson Daniels was like, "Nigga, give me 5 or 6 more shots, I'm not playing as much defense on the best player." They'd be like, "Who the fuck you think you is, Dyson? Check that goddamn guard and shut up." Like it don't work like that. You got to play what the team needs, and because basketball is so much more of a team sport, I feel like, well, it's not more of a team sport than football. It's not. But when it comes to like winning these championships, you do need a good team around you. You do, no matter what you do. Obviously, you're gonna have a great player, or a few great players, but you need a solid team of role players as well. Too goddamn, unless you got fucking 4 players like the Warriors did, and they got at that point, what what I'm saying? Ain't no point. But obviously football is more team sport than basketball. There's that miscommunication. But I feel like in basketball you need solid role players. You literally do. If you don't, then you're cooked. You need solid players that can just spot up and stand there, run to the corner, stand there, wait for open 3. That's it. Literally. Such as fucking Mike Miller, Ray Allen. Even Norris Cole played a part in their Super Bowl, in their fucking ring. Who else? I'm trying to think. Who won? Fred VanVleet had to just take over. So it's like they got roles, you know what I'm saying? Mario Chalmers, Shane Battier, like, you know what I'm saying? So you need players that are not as egotistical and they could just sit there and play their roles sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even who else was it? Jamal Crawford. I don't think Crawford ever won a ring though, if I'm not mistaken. But we all know Crawford could have started. Jordan Poole could have started. But they're better whenever your starters are needing breaks. We got Jordan Poole, nigga. Keep your starters in the game. You got to. So while Curry getting the goddamn rest, you still got offense on the field. Or on the court, I'm sorry. You still got offense on the court. So while Curry's getting his breath, you might only go -1, you know what I'm saying, and the plus minus with Poole, or you might go up by 5. And then Curry comes in and you up by 15. So You know, even though Jordan Poole obviously could have been a starter on any, just like James Harden on the Thunder, he could have easily been a starter, and he was a starter eventually. But you just need players like that. You just need them
to grow seemingly exponentially. The number of roster spots has stayed the same.
How Ricky Davis was the player on the Cavs, LeBron came. He got literally, Duke. Yeah, Ricky Davis was like, man, why the fuck they draft this thing? You think we drafted LeBron to play behind you? Yeah, okay, Bucko. Bye. Trade that nigga, bro.
Damn. But you can still find examples today of players who are so talented. DeAndre Ayton, Russell Westbrook, Ben.
You know what's crazy, Brett? I don't think so. I don't think Ginobili could have been a main star on the team. I don't think so. I think he would have had a good career, obviously, but it wouldn't have hit the same. Because he wouldn't have won games. They wouldn't have won a ring. No. Just like James Harden. Obviously, I think James Harden, they could have won rings, though. They put a team around him. They could have won. They 3-1 and they fucked up. But I feel like if he goes somewhere else, because you got to think about also that Spurs team was built around a bunch of players that were foreign. And their whole game is wonky and whack. Like that fucking Tony Parker floater, fuck that shit. That shit damn near seemed unblockable. Y'all think the Curry floater is bad? Nigga, that Tony Parker floater was fucking annoying. That nigga just throw that shit, you like, man, but he made that shit again. You like, oh yeah, Manu finna goddamn Euro step. Just goddamn, don't, just wait for it. Got him again. Tony Parker, listen, Tony Parker, he gonna go tween, and he gonna shoot a midi. He made it still. Like their game was just, and then they had Denny Green, they had, you know what I'm saying, Tim Duncan, obviously, Thiago Splitter, Boris Diaw. It's just, you know what I'm saying, that team was, and they had Kawhi, I mean, obviously in the later, the 2012, 11, whatever year, they had Kawhi. So
Simmons, and on the upper end, Jordan Poole, D'Angelo Russell, Zach LaVine, that teams are more than happy to.
Like, you can't tell me D'Lo wouldn't be amazing off the bench. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think I mean, obviously he might get thrusted into the starting lineup for a few injuries like he did for us, but D'Lo off the bench is literally perfect. Perfect. He's keeping your team afloat. If they go on like a little run, he might be able to get you some of those points back. But that's because I felt like we tried to put too much focus on D'Lo scoring and like damn near starting. On the Lakers, obviously, I don't think we would have won against Denver regardless, but he shot terribly that year.
Pay up and have them on their roster, regardless of if their playstyle or skill set is conducive to the system. And this approach just isn't good enough to win games in today's NBA. And I think as teams continue to get smarter, we'll see less of this and see even more talent leak out of the NBA. Recently on his podcast, Jaylen Brown had a great take on this.
There's so many talented players that are not in the NBA. NBA, I don't think, is the best talent in the world currently right now. They're taking like the utility guy draft approach, where they just drafting guys that they know are not going to be stars, but will be great role players to develop. So the actually most talented players, it's a lot of talented guys that's not in the NBA right now.
I agree with that.
The game has changed. I think in the 90s and the 2000s, the best players was in the league.
Yeah.
Nowadays, in the 2020s, that is not the case.
Nigga, you can't even dribble with your left hand. Of course you gonna say this. He can't even drive with his left hand. Who this nigga talk?
Talent will always be the great filter of the NBA. It decides who gets a chance and who doesn't. But fit and cohesion are more important now than ever before. So I'm
gonna be honest though. If the NBA don't got the best talent, who has the best talent? I think a better statement would be maybe the Americas, maybe, but Canada, fuck no. You think the Canadian Basketball League is beating any team in the NBA? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
think the NBA is too talented. Teams
No.
have just shifted their priorities, and talent alone is no longer enough
No. I'm saying, what other basketball league is better than the NBA? Like,
to make it in the league. But I can appreciate this take, and let me know what you think. Share your hot takes in the comments below. And as always, the hotter, the better.
that was a good video.